Gemini new moon. Cleanse the space and make it safe. Cleanse the space, make it safe. Cleanse the space, make it safe. Cleanse the space and make it safe. Cleanse the space and make it safe. Luna, Luna, new in phase. I call forth your energy in praise. Luna, Luna, new in phase. I call forth your energy in praise. For new beginnings and growth to be, to come forth and bring hope to thee. Luna, Luna, new in phase. I call forth your energy in praise. For new beginning and growth to be, to come forth and bring hope to thee. Calling new man energy from above ground, to bring in growth and new beginnings in the compass round. Open new pathways and a new course. Hail to thee to bring forth new beginnings and growth to be cast in light. New opportunities are within sight. By road above and road below, by earth, fire, toad and crow. Hail keepers of north, east, south and west. Hear these calls for the best. Growth come forth, I hail thee. As Luna grows, shall so it be. I call upon the energy of the new moon to bring direction to all who need it soon. New beginnings blasted forth for those who need it. By my will, so mote it be. I thought I would share with you my altars and my altar spaces. So I'm going to show you my ancestor altar and my working altar. My ancestor altar is the altar I come to work with my ancestors or commune with them, or to remember them at times like birthdays and anniversaries of passings. So just a quick tour. In the far corner here is my late husband, who died suddenly in 2019, and this is a rose that a client sent to me shortly after he died, and I keep that next to my husband. And on top of that there is a flask of Jack Daniels, which was my husband's favourite beverage. There is a magpie skull or a crow skull down there, part of the corvid family, and these birds are related to the dead and death, so that's why that's on my altar. There's a photograph of my late father. My mum's still here. I live with her and care for her. And a cat I had when I was at university. It was actually my professor's cat, and I adopted him because my professor was moving into university accommodation and couldn't take the cat. And I had that cat for a long time. Behind here is a card that my husband's cousin sent me, and on the card is a glass arrowhead that my husband made about a long time ago, and he gifted it to his cousin, who then gifted it to me earlier this year, and that's very, very sentimental. My husband's cousin is a practitioner of the craft as well, hence the symbols. Then there's a hagstone at the back that was sent to me as a gift. There's this palm stone. It's a natural pebble that my husband found many years ago and gave to me. At the back here is a picture of a carved stone. This was carved during the Neolithic, and it's part of the entrance to one of the burial chambered tombs in Ireland. Above there, in that box, is some of my dad's ashes, and there's tourmaline on top. And below that are some special cards that I use to connect with the ancestors. Over here are some dried roses that were on my husband's coffin, which I've kept. And over in the corner there, a wedding favour bag from my wedding. This little skull, I think I paid 10p for it in Superdrug in the sale, and it just sits on there as a nod to the collective dead and those ancestors of mine that are further back in the line. And then on this side are my grandparents. That's my dad's parents. That was when they were young in the 1920s, their engagement photo. And then this was taken when they were elderly. And there's a rosary here. I bought that rosary in Ireland, and that goes over their photo because they were Catholic. And this is my great aunt, my mother's auntie, and her sister was a fortune teller. Red tea leaves, palms, crystal ball, etc. And then I have an offering bowl here, and I have this oil burner, but I use it to keep this beautiful skull candle on, which I've had a long time now, but it still smells absolutely amazing. Now I come here to do workings for myself and for the collective dead. I do have clients that I'll do spell work for, but I don't usually do it at this altar. This is my personal altar for between me and my blood ancestors and chosen ancestors. So I thought I would share that with you, because that is an altar I do come to, particularly when I want to work with my ancestors for something for me. So in the next session, I shall show you my working altar. Hello and welcome to my working altar tour. So I thought I would share with you my altar, and first up is this corn dolly that I purchased, and this design is for protection, and so I have this up not only to protect my altar space but the room that encompasses it as well. And coming down here, this is a hanging I made. I had all these loose ends of sari ribbon from a project, and so I decided to tie them onto this piece of wood to make a rather nice wall hanging. And then I have made a sun wheel for the summer solstice. That's my minimalistic summer solstice decoration. And I made this from, I have a diary which is called Country Wisdom and Folklore Diary, and there was a project in this book to make one of these sun wheels. Mine's not as perfect as the one in the book, but I have used holly with it because I was pruning my holly bush, and so I saved some holly twigs and then did the sun wheel. So that's up for the summer solstice. And then coming down here is a rabbit skull. My late husband found this. The rabbit was already bones when he happened to come up on it, and he brought it home for me. And it sits on a candle holder, which I like because it's a dish-like one that you can put herbs in. And then there's a piece of mandrake root and a hagstone. And then this box just contains the tools of my trade, like herbs, maybe some herbs, oils, parchments, though different sort of things, little candle stick holders for chime candles, those sort of things. So I kind of keep that sealed and everything tucked away, unless I'm needing it for a client working. And then over here I have this lovely card that has the moon phases on, and I just have that there to represent the moon phases. And then I have a charcoal incense burner, two compass direction stones that I made representing earth and fire, little offering bowl, and then on this side we have a pretty card to represent the 4 seasons. And there's a box here with my mini ancestral kit in. I do have my ancestor altar, which you've already seen, and I just use this kind of portable ancestral kit for when I'm doing client ancestral workings, because I've already said the ancestor altar is for my personal use. 2 more of my compass direction stones, and these are air and water. And then at the back here I have some books that I refer to that aren't on the main bookshelf. I will give you a tour of the books in another clip. And I have the Black Toad by Gemma Gary. This is a really good reference source for traditional witchcraft spells, folk spells, etc. And this one is by the same author, the Charmer's Saltzer, which I got for £5 from World of Books. And I'm just going to put that on the back so you can read. And if you want, just pause it to read. And it's by Troy Books. It's a really little handy book. If you're looking, I like to write my own spells and chants, but if you struggle, and sometimes you struggle, then that's handy. This is my book of words. That's private. And then I have this really nice witch folk tarot deck. I don't use this for readings. I use this particularly for spell working for clients or for myself, or to consult before doing spell working. And then at the front of the altar is my hood lamp and my wand. The hood lamp was made using, it's recycled horseshoes. I ordered this from a farrier. It was very reasonably priced at £15, because they can be a lot more expensive than that. You can get very decorative hood lamps, but I kind of like things simple, and I saw this and I loved it, and I loved the price. And it even came with a candle, and you can pick your own colour candle. Now, I'm not in any way promoting this seller, but if anybody is interested in purchasing one of these hood lamps for the altar, I will show you the card. They are based in the UK, and this is the company I purchased my hood lamp from, and with postage it was a total of £20. So that's their details there. I'm not endorsing them, and this is not promoting them. I'm just sharing this with you. Because what I liked about this was he is a metalsmith, or she, and they obviously make horseshoes, and then when their clients' horses need new shoes, they take the old ones off. Instead of throwing them away or whatever, they make them into things, they repurpose them, which is what's happened with this. And I liked that ethic. And the price was really good, and I'm really pleased with it, and it sits nicely in my altar dish. And behind it I have a labyrinth stone. In there is a necklace I have, which is my birth sign. It's silver and it has an onyx stone in it, and I feel it has a very protective vibe. And then under this, I'm just going to lift that up, is a spiral I crocheted. So just move that and show you. I've been learning to crochet this last few weeks, and I made this spiral, and I decided to keep it on the altar because I do connect with the spiral, seeing it as the cycle. And I just love the way that this fits in there. So that's everything. I'm not going to explain what a hood lamp is or the purpose of it. There's plenty of videos on that out there. But I just wanted to share with you my altar and do a little bit, because it's coming up to the summer solstice, do a little bit more of a witchy themed kind of video. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and yeah, I'll see you in the next clip, whatever that will be. Okay, I thought I would show you my witchy collection, which when I said witchy collection, I meant my books. I have quite a few books on various aspects of the craft, and also the divine feminine, as well as past life, ghosts, and the rest of the spiritual collection. I have a huge bookcase in the hall, so a lot of my books are kept on there, my healing books, Reiki books, divine feminine books, etc. But my witchcraft collection I like to keep in here, because obviously with my mum being elderly and her getting a lot of visitors from the healthcare team, I don't want my books there on display. Not that they're going to see them, I know they won't, but I prefer my books in my bedroom as well, or my room here where I've got access to them. I've got some yoga books here because I'm training. I've signed up to train to be a yoga teacher. I love yoga, as many of you know. I've not had much chance to do much of it at the minute because it's been a hectic few weeks with my mother. But I'm going to go through, just show you my small but happy growing collection of books. I'm more interested in traditional witchcraft, ancestral witchcraft as well, and folk witchcraft. So that's kind of the genre. So here I have, which I've just realised it's upside down. This book is Culpeper's Herbal. I'm just going to place it. I'll place it there. And this was from my late husband, which is written there. That was my husband. And it was a book he got for me in a second-hand shop, many years ago, and I've always kept it. It's really good reference, so I do have that one. And because I'm filming holding my phone, I've got one hand, so I can't put it back in at the minute. These two I got in a charity shop, I think for a couple of quid, and they were really good finds as well. And then I've got some Troy books. That's a really good book as well. And then I've got a folk almanac, and a lot of these are I think a lot of these are Troy books. Plants of the Devil, that's a very interesting book because obviously the book talks about it's the title of the book, but it is very informative. Between the Realms is about Cornish myth and magic. If you're interested in folklore, this is a really interesting book to read. And then I've got this one from Treadwell's, which is another good book. These are all books I keep on here because I do reference them. This book It's a bit worn at the end, and that's because I've used it a lot. I've done many of her workshops, Rebecca Beattie. Now, she is a Wiccan priestess, but some of her knowledge draws on traditional witchcraft, and I've loved her workshops, and I bought the book after completing her workshops over 12 months. It's a really good book, full of folklore and ideas. This is another good book, Spiritual Cleansing, and it talks about different spiritual cleansings, like cleansing baths, using seining, other kind of things to work, because spiritual cleansing is pretty important. And then I have this book here, which again is about, that is a really, really good book. I bought this in Glastonbury, I think last year, but look at the inside of that. What wallpaper, that would make some amazing wallpaper, but what a beautiful book this is. Packed full of information. And again, it's a really handy book. I have The Crooked Path, a book on traditional, The Witch's Book of the Dead. I think that's out of print. I've had that about 15 years. Very good book. Very, very good book. And then Land Spirits, I work with spirits of the land. Again, all these books I'd recommend. And then I have, this is a witch, a traditional witch. I've been on her workshop, and from that I bought her book. Again, full of folk and traditional witchcraft magic. Under the Witching Tree, which is very good. The Discovery of Witchcraft. The Pendle Witches, that's very interesting. The Black Dog, I bought that second hand, and it's very, very interesting. And then at the back there is my yoga stuff, because I'm doing a yoga teacher training course, and these are the books I need for that course. So that's my what I'd say my very important witchy collection of books, and it's growing because there are a couple of books I want to get by Gemma Gerry, which I'll pick up when I'm in Glastonbury next week, probably from Courtyard Books. They are I can't recommend them highly enough. They're really good, and you can actually take your books in and they'll buy them off you as well. I've sold them loads of books that I don't need, or if a book's getting battered and I want to renew it, I'll take it in, they'll buy it, and then I can use that money towards a newer copy. So yeah, that's my witchy collection of books. So I hope you've enjoyed, and catch you soon. Okay, so I thought I'd do a quick tour of the patio garden. This is where I tend to grow all our plants. I much prefer container gardening to garden beds because they are easier to manage. So I've got some Sweet William at the back there, and over there I have some calendula growing. I've got my roses here. Look at that, so pretty, and they smell really nice. Got a small rose coming up there, and then I've got this rose here, which is in bud, and then this is the wildflower section. Around this little border is all wildflowers. That's a vine and then a honeysuckle, and then around here I've got jasmine, which needs repotting. That's a heather, and again, aren't those Sweet Williams pretty? And coming to this side, these annuals. This is calendula I've grown. Petunia, and then some more calendula. Heathers and ferns. And I'm not sure what that plant is. These are some plants I'm growing, but I can't remember the name of them. They're stocks that I've grown, and this is something I've grown, but I can't remember what it is. I've lost the labels. And then these two geraniums, and there's some of course that I've bought. That's a fuchsia, and fuchsia. This is a snapdragon, which is from last year. I bought this plant last year, and I think it must have self-seeded and is grown again. But the pretty flowers are now, the seed heads from these are awesome. They look like little skulls. and I do harvest for his seed heads when they're ready to harvest. And then over here is my herb. This is my herb area. I've got some lavender there and there, 2 different types of lavender, and I've got parsley, mint, parsley, marjoram, hyssop. Hyssop's a very old herb, it's good for cleansing, coriander, rosemary and sage. So that's just a little show and tell of the patio garden, which is looking nice now for summer. I mean, it has been a pretty wet spring and summer, and unfortunately my vegetables just didn't come through this year like they did last, because it's just been such a wet spring. But other than that, you know, it's all going to be flowers, but it'll look nice. And I want to focus more on the herbs, because these herbs I'll use in my magical workings, particularly things like the hyssop and rosemary and the sage, and the lavender as well. So yeah, I just thought I would give you a share of mine and my mum's patio garden.